Welcome everyone to session 1 of our Apocalypse World miniseries. Apocalypse World is one of my favorite RPG games, and I'm excited to take both you and the players through the world that we have created together. So to give a kind of brief introduction, so this is a world where there were no bombs dropped, there's no zombie apocalypse, no aliens, no climate disaster. Instead, this is a world that has slowly decayed over time through the malfeasance of the ones we call the Silvered Ones. Or at least that's the story we tell ourselves. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not, because no one was around to know what happened to the old society. But the world we find ourselves in today is inhabited by PCs and NPCs alike in a city called the Blocks. And this is a very packed in, dirty, very dense city that is kind of built up in layers on top of each other over time. It's a city of desperation, of hopelessness, of just enough food to eat, not to starve, but nothing that really satisfies people. And so people instead have turned to, ways of escapism through drugs and other means. And given this world, I think we should introduce our players, starting with Amelia. Unfortunately, Amelia is very quiet.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Finally. I will be playing Amelia Roskam. She runs a family cult. And we live out in the aviary. We call ourselves the Feathered, although in the Blocks we are known as the Freaks.
And so we have Amelia. The aviary is an area outside of the Blocks. So they are kind of a little bit of a part of normal society. But also they like to go into the Blocks to seek converts. Next, let's go to Sir.
Any comments? Okay, I play Sir. He is the owner of a sex club. It's a really great time. 10 out of 10 would recommend. And yeah, he's just really chill, really sultry, sensual, I guess. And he just has fun running his club, and he hopes that everyone has a good time.
And this club is a very exclusive and very secretive. The only way to get in is through word of mouth and one of the existing members giving you the secret password. But that doesn't mean things always go as planned. Next up, we have Escalade, our driver.
Escalade is the driver of the guy who owns the town, Mr. Barn, but mainly he does for hire, and he's about 6'4", long black dreads, dresses sharp, somebody who's a bodyguard or something, and it's just a strong silent type, but he just drives around, does his thing.
Yes, and as mentioned, Escalade is our chauffeur for the mayor of the Blocks, Toby Bong, who is a interesting character, but I think it's a interesting character among a world full of interesting characters. And last but not least, Spaz.
So Spaz is just that, a spastic, insane person, full of drugs, full of alcohol, anything goes, he will do it. Spaz pretty much can also build, repair, and fix almost anything as well. He's kind of a loose cannon when it comes to social things, per se. Anything goes, he will do it.
Do you honestly think Spaz is a bit of a loose cannon, not just in social situations, but in everything?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right, now that we've introduced everybody to our 4 PCs, let's get into our beginning of session bookkeeping. So basically I'm going to go around again, character by character, and we're going to do lifestyle, and we're going to do highlighting of stats. So since we already got Spaz here, let's go ahead and do your lifestyle.
So I rolled a 12.
For your bone feel?
Yes, for my bone feel.
Awesome. And tell us what that gets you.
Okay, at the beginning of the session, roll plus weird. On a roll of 10 plus, I hold plus 1, or I hold 1 and plus 1. Which means at any time, either you or the MC can spin your hold to have you already be there, with the proper tools and knowledge, with or without any clear explanation why. If you hold a plus 1 or a 1 hold, if your hold was 1 plus 1, take plus 1 forward now. On a miss, the MC holds 1 and can spend it to have you be there already, but somehow pinned, caught, or trapped. So I need to roll my forward, is that correct?
Nope. No, okay. So in this game, plus 1 forward means on the next roll that deals with that move, you get plus 1.
Okay.
And so since you rolled a 12, you get the 1 to the hold, and then plus 1 hold, or plus 1 forward, sorry.
Okay.
So the hold is also, it's sort of like it's a resource specific to that move that, like Spaz mentioned, that either he or I can spend to force him to show up into a scene where I want him to be, or he wants to be. All right, so what about your lifestyle? So lifestyle, you can spend 1 barter or 2 barter if you want to have like an especially like extravagant, time.
So if I want to spend...
Yes, so you have to, well, if you don't spend any barter, you're in a very rough place. So highly recommend spending 1 barter.
Okay. I will spend 1 barter then.
Awesome. And just to be sure, I think that leaves you... How many barter do you have currently?
That's where where is that at?
It would be under the gear under the Savvy Head sheet. So you start with 6 barter.
Oh, okay.
So you have 5 left. So you're doing pretty good. And then finally, we're gonna highlight your stats. So I'm gonna highlight sharp. And then who is your highest hex?
My highest hex. So I guess that would be, let's see, I got plus 1 to Escalade. So -1 to Sir?
The highest.
Oh, the highest. So that would be Escalade.
All right. So Escalade, other than Sharp, pick 1 stat for Spaz.
Weird.
Weird is always a good choice. All right. So we've done your lifestyle, we've done your highlighting, and we've done your beginning of session move. Do you have anything else?
So which one did you highlight for me?
I highlighted Sharp.
Okay. I just realized that you can click those buttons. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome.
All right.
Sorry, and so I had six barter.
You're down to 5 though, because you just
down to 5. Okay, so 5. Okay. Yep. I think that's it.
All right, and let's go back to Escalade. So as far as I know, you have no beginning of session moves, but what are you spending for lifestyle?
I think I'll just do one barter. He's probably just gonna wait until his next job to like splurge some.
All right, so that leaves you at 3 barter. And for highlighting, I'm gonna highlight, I'll highlight cool. And then, so who is your highest hex?
Spaz.
Spaz, highlight a stat for Escalade.
Okay, Spaz is probably gonna highlight. So you already did cool?
I did cool.
Okay. I'll say sharp.
Okay, cool and sharp for Escalade. And then I guess going in reverse order from our introductions, let's talk about Sir. Just like Escalade, I don't think you have any beginning of session moves, so what about your lifestyle?
I think as long as my establishment's open, I don't have to pay.
Nice. That is a very nice thing to have, especially because you only have two barter at the moment, but
Yep.
Since you're not spending it, that's always a good thing. And I guess next thing are highlighting stats. I'm going to highlight hot. And who is your highest hex?
Amelia.
Amelia, what are we highlighting for Sir?
Well, I mean, since you already took hot, let's do cool.
Cool. Interesting. And then finally back to Amelia. What are you spending for your lifestyle?
Oh, I need to roll, correct?
You have your fortunes roll. We could do that now first if you want.
Sure. Trying to find it. Sorry.
I think it's your very first move on the Hocus sheet.
Yep. It's an 11.
11's good.
Yep.
All right, tell us what that means.
Your followers have a surplus.
Awesome. And if I remember correctly, so for your followers, you took 2 surpluses. So one is growth. So you're doing a really good job at recruitment. And the other one is stupor, which means your followers are drug fixated. So
We're doing fantastic. We're just letting loose a little bit.
yeah. So I think we might need to explore exactly how the drug part is playing out, but also like how you're getting recruits so well.
So we're just
Sorry.
ahead.
I meant like during play, not
okay,
before
later.
play starts. Yeah.
Okay. And then what were we doing next?
Yeah. Lifestyle.
Trying to find the lifestyle on here.
It's basically you could spend 1 or 2 barter to basically maintain your lifestyle.
And I currently have, correct me if I'm wrong, 4 barter?
Yes.
I'll spend 2.
Wow. So how are you living it up?
It would seem like we had a fairly good crop in the apiary. Obviously, we're all very drugged right now from said crop. And so we are just using our resources for our new feathered that have joined us to really help them settle in.
So maybe you spent extra on a nice supply of drugs.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. And then for stat highlighting, I'm going to highlight weird.
Woo.
And who is your highest hex?
That would be Sir.
So, Sir, tell us what you're highlighting.
I'll highlight hot.
All right, so we have finished our opening session moves. And if you can can jump right into play. So basically, starting out, we're going to do kind of like a, slice of life for our different characters to kind of just establish who they are, who their major NPCs that they tend to interact with are, and just see what kind of trouble we can get into. And I think Amelia has given us a nice big opening of trouble. So let's check in with what is going on in the aviary.
Currently, I think Josh, NPC, is kind of one of the few not partaking as he's trying to micromanage our wildness. Very much everybody is running around fully naked, very drugged up. Just see fumes coming from the aviary depending on people's pleasures.
So I kind of imagine that Josh is like he's very straight-laced. Like, yes. He doesn't partake of the drugs, and he's like telling people like what to do and when, and don't mix these things, and like
he has a fantastic knowledge, does not partake.
Yeah, and probably a good thing because he's like there to keep people out of too much trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So what is this like? Is there kind of a ritual to this, or is it just kind of a free-for-all? You're like, here, get whatever you want.
I think once we have brought the new members and they have agreed to stay with us, there's a very nice ceremony where we adorn their hair with either braids and feathers or like handcrafted jewelry. And if any younger people are to join us, they are to be put to bed and locked away, literally lock them in so that they are not exposed to any danger.
Mm-hmm.
With some of the more responsible members, not Josh, but similar ones, to watch over them for the night.
Uh-huh.
While the rest of us, in the moonlight, begin to strip and partake in our various things that we love.
So, what is it that attracts people to your cult?
Initially, I believe it's just the feeling of safety.
Mm-hmm.
We're separated from the blocks by quite a bit. It's probably a day's walk to get to the aviary. If, we do have our rats that protect us. Once you're a member, you do get to meet them. And that's just another feeling of security for us. Not to mention, as of recently, we have had a surplus of supplies. And it's just it feels like a warm family taking you in from this very harsh world that people have been subjected to.
And I imagine the aviary is like kind of compoundish, but a little more spread out than the blocks. So maybe there's a feeling of like you have the protection, but you also have kind of the room.
Yeah, so while you have room to live and everything, it is fenced in to some degree, mostly for protection, but everybody is allowed to come and go as they please. There's no preventing people from leaving. It's very, unlike the blocks, filled with growth. As I mentioned before, crops, and while we do not produce the drugs, we certainly supply the herbs that are used to make them, I think. Definitely just surplus of food and greenery. The air's a lot cleaner, and it's a lot easier for people to breathe here than in the blocks.
Awesome.
It's like an Eden, almost,
yes,
to some people.
An oasis in a very harsh world.
Definitely. With lots of sex and drugs.
Lots of sex and drugs. For sure. So I think right now there's like really no conflict or anything bad going on. I don't know if you want to like jump into a particular scene or it was just like kind of leave it, things going well for now.
I think Amelia is walking around, greeting the new members, her herself not partaking in the drugs, but she is fully disrobed, and is just walking around, taking paint and just like marking people, leaving like handprints on them, just very beautiful symbols, and it's just part of the ceremony under the moonlight.
Oh, okay, so this is happening at night. Awesome. And Josh is kind of at the entrance welcoming people in and probably handing out pamphlets that describe like safety instructions, and he's like, and if you feel sick, just go over to like the building over there on the right. And yeah. Awesome. All right, let's jump over to Spaz. What is Spaz up to?
Spaz is more or less working in his workshop.
So tell us about your workshop.
Spaz's workshop is this insane garage slash living space. Pretty much it was a garage at one point, and then they just built up, and it's a mixed match of corrugated tin to metal to all kinds of various wood parts. It definitely looks like it could be in a third world country for sure.
And your workshop is in the blocks.
It is. Yeah. So, it was once owned by actually the professor. And then he's just as insane as Spaz is, more so in the build it stage of life. And he moved on, so Spaz took it over.
Interesting. And so were you kind of a protege of the professor?
I think so. I think Spaz would have definitely not so much found him, but the professor found him instead of the other way around. Spaz would have been coked out, drugged out in some alleyway. Pretty much building who knows what in the back alley, and this professor basically stumbled upon him and took interest. So he adopted him. So
and so the professor has moved on to this place called the Pits, which is the sort of set of mines built on the ancient city to the north of the blocks.
Yeah.
But
sure.
It's still kind of I would say a close friend and ally of Spaz, even if y'all do not like interact as much anymore.
Oh, for sure. I mean, if Spaz ever needs anything from the professor or whatnot, he just either appears mysteriously or or he gets Escalade to drive him.
Escalade, everyone's chauffeur.
Yes.
So are you working on a project currently?
Actually, I am. Speaking of Escalade, I'm working on Escalade's Escalade. So, that is a ever ongoing project that Spaz has dedicated himself to. He believes from old textbooks and things of that nature that he can turn it into a battle cruising tank.
So from this old SUV to a tank.
Yeah. That can easily go 80, 90 miles an hour.
Easily.
That's on cruise speed. So
Right. If he hits the nitrous, then it goes faster.
Exactly.
Is this one of your official Savvy Head projects?
I think so.
All right. So when you go into your workspace and dedicate yourself to making a thing or getting to the bottom of some shit, decide what and tell the MC. And the MC will tell you, sure, no problem, but. So right, your goal is to make Escalades escalade into a tank. So when I think of a tank, it's gonna be heavily armored. It's gonna be have a lot of weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
At least like some sort of main gun, and maybe like a secondary attached gun.
For sure.
And you want this to go fast.
Oh, yeah.
So a souped up engine.
Souped up engine.
All right.
Sure.
So I think we could break this. We could either like consider this a single project, or we consider it multiple projects, like you do in Synquits. Does that make sense?
I think Spaz would do it bit by bit because he does a lot of drugs and whatnot, and his attention span is not all there on focusing on things. So
I'm sensing a theme among our characters. All right, so what would you consider your first project? Like, what are you thinking of first?
So, him and Escalade occasionally go out beyond, to the pits and various other places to scavenge and salvage, old parts or old treasures and whatnot from the waste. And there's a lot of dangers out there. So I think he would pretty much go with firepower.
So weaponry first.
Yeah.
Was it was the best defense is a good offense?
Exactly. Well,
All right.
he trusts Escalade. I mean, his driving skills and whatnot are on par. He doesn't think he needs to tweak the engine any more than he already has. That will come maybe next, or figure out the armor plating and whatnot, then tweak the engine to balance everything out. So,
got it. So, what kind of weaponry are you thinking of?
Machine guns. Well, flamethrower too. So, a machine gun flamethrower. That's what Spaz has got in his head.
A machine gun flamethrower. Amazing. a machine gun that fires bullets, and the bullets shoot flames.
Maybe not so much that, but, as you're seeing the big ball of flame, then you're getting pelted by bullets too. So, it's all in the mirage. So.
All right. So,
because
go down my list.
The guys are going, ha ha ha, he can't reach me with that flamethrower. Next thing you know, they look down, they got holes in themselves because they got hit by a machine gun.
All right, so I don't think this is like too wild of a project. I think, say, we'll take days.
Okay.
But so going down my list, definitely. See, you're gonna have to take something apart to do it. I don't think you're gonna take something apart. I think you need the weaponry itself, and then you can attach it to the car. So days of work. Don't need multiple tries. Don't need anything to your workplace. Maybe exposing yourself to a little bit of danger.
Oh yeah, for sure. You got to test
and you'll
the
need to find the base
before,
weaponry.
Yeah, you got to test the product before you actually, put it into play. So
yeah, days of work. Expose yourself to danger, to beta test, and acquire base weaponry.
So he's got the the little plexiglass bullet shield that he thinks he's protected behind, and pushes the button. As the bullet flies by his head, it's like, shit, no, crap. So,
Yeah, you're supposed to face the weapon away from you.
It's, it's like Mythbusters, but, the other way around.
Yeah, but with explosions.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that's Mythbusters.
It is Mythbusters.
More danger.
Yeah.
So how are you going to acquire this base weaponry?
Probably the professor.
All right. So are you going to make a kind of a day trip out to the pits to meet the professor? Do you have some way of like a radio to call him?
Yeah, definitely would have a radio. So, anybody radio something.
All right. So yeah, you radio up the professor, and you hear his voice. This is the professor.
Spaz here.
Oh, Spaz. It's a pleasure to hear your voice again.
Yeah,
It has been a while.
it has. So, I'm doing this new project for Escalade's Escalade. And,
Yes.
um,
It is always to have something to work on.
Indeed. So I need some machine guns.
Oh, machine guns.
Yeah, big ones, preferably.
Yes. How many do you need?
Let's see here. Math. Reasonably or unreasonably?
Reasonably or unreasonably? I think in this world you always want to be unreasonable.
Exactly.
It is the only logical way to be.
Definitely. So, let's go with 10.
10. Wow. You must be working on an interesting project if you need 10 machine guns.
Oh, yeah. So, I'll tell you all about it once we get together.
Yes. Well, if you can meet me out in the pits and provide some, a little jingle, maybe I can get you 10 machine guns.
Most definitely.
When can I expect you?
Gotta talk to Escalade first. Probably should put back some of this vehicle first. But,
yes.
Yeah, after I put back together the vehicle, and then I'll talk to Escalade, and then we'll come see you.
Is this for Escalade?
It is.
Yes. Mentioning you're working on his car, it's obvious now. But I will expect you before too long.
Yep. Yeah. For sure.
And so speaking of Escalade, I think this is maybe a good time for Escalade to show up.
I think Escalade would probably be walking by him because he was about to check in with Toby to see if he needed anything done, try to get some work.
Mm-hmm.
And he just looks back, he does like a double take, like Spaz.
But it sounds like Spaz has your vehicle too, so maybe you're going to go pick up your car.
That would make sense. Get my car and then go to Toby.
All right, Spaz, you hear a knock on your door.
Hello? Is it the spirits again? Go away, spirits! I'm trying to work!
No, it's just me.
Oh, Escalade! Hey! Come in! Woo-hoo.
He'll come in and I take it you already had your dosage for today?
I'm fine, buddy.
I see that. How's it going?
Oh, so we need to make a run.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna ask where. Let's just get in the vehicle and you told me where to go.
most definitely. It's a surprise.
I like surprises. Just don't kill anybody on the way there.
No, we need some coin though.
Ooh, okay. Do I have any money? How does that work?
Do you have any money?
Yeah, that's he has.
Your barter is your money. Your money.
I have some, and if anything happens and we need more, I can always take a job.
Okay, well, do we want to take a job first? Because I need lots of stuff. But I'm not too sure exactly how much it's going to cost.
I mean, we can. I'm gonna say it once. If I take you along with me, you gotta behave. You know what happened last time.
What? Just because, sticking your head out the window and going, hey, with the little twirly things going, wee, that was all cool and stuff till that stupid, thing
You gotta
down.
understand, these people with money, they're not like us. So.
What? I mean, just because the tightwad got all like, so.
I'm sort of imagining when Spaz was describing like what got him in trouble last time, it like cut to another scene of like Spaz hanging out of Escalade's car and like Escalade pulling him back in like a split second before like a sign flies by and would have hit Spaz in the face.
Yeah, he probably has some like old rich lady in the car and she was just having a panic attack in the back because this guy's just like spazzing out and sticking himself out of the sunroof and just me swerving all over the place.
All right, so you're all planning to make a trip out to the pits.
I do have a question since we're talking about coin. Could I use the jingle thing? It says if you need a jingle during a session, tell the MC.
If you want to do a gig, yeah.
Yeah, I figured if we need to get money, I can do that. Unless if a trip to the place, if that works out, then I'm cool with that.
So that wouldn't count as a gig. I mean, unless Spaz is offering to pay you.
No. Well, I mean, I'm fine with going scavenging. That's fine. We can do that.
Well, if you look at the driver sheet and you have barter on the bottom left on the second page, it should list, if you need jingle during a session, tell the MC you'd like to work a gig. Your gigs are serve a wealthy NPC as a driver. So obviously you do this for Toby quite a bit. You could serve a wealthy NPC as a courier. You may also do this for Toby quite a bit. And then there's others as you negotiate them. So essentially your main gigs involve driving, unsurprisingly. But yeah, anything that makes sense will.
I'm just trying to debate if I want to take one with him with me, because I just feel like that's going to make shit worse.
I mean, you could try talking to Toby to see if there's anything he wants to take out to the pits or bring back.
I like that idea. Spaz, we're gonna see the boss, so I just need you to do me a favor and shut your mouth.
I mean,
just for a little bit. If it works out, I'll buy you something.
Oh, okay. Ask him if he needs anything repaired, because I can do that too.
You know what? You can come and talk. Maybe he needs some drugs. You never know.
Oh, well, yeah, well, there's that. But I can also fix his shit too. So.
Sure. You know what? Let's see how this works. I'll go talk to Toby and take him with me.
All right. So I know obviously Escalade has a good relationship with Toby, since you're his main driver. But what about Spaz? What kind of relationship does Spaz have with Toby?
Ooh, I don't think it would be horrible, but I don't think it would be, good either. So
maybe Toby finds you very annoying, but can't deny your usefulness.
Yeah, for sure.
Tobin. All right, so we have Escalade and Spaz. They head off to Toby's mansion, though in the world of the blocks, mansion maybe has a very different meaning. His complex within the complex that is the blocks. And so, yeah, you walk up to his front door, Escalade and Spaz, and you see one of his henchmen outside. He's like, "Sup, Escalade? You here to see? You here to see the boss?"
Yeah, he's my +1, so don't worry about him.
Hi.
Yeah, he gives you like kind of a disgusted look. Like, whereas Toby like sees utility in you, his henchmen don't.
Yeah.
At least not, directly. And then he kind of like rolls his eyes and like, "All right, boss is upstairs in his office. You know where to find him."
Appreciate
He
it.
opens the door for you. So, what does it look like? What does Toby's complex look like when you walk inside?
The best way I could just, think about it is like if you ever play Fallout and you go to one of those places that they look nice in the outside, but in the inside is just mismatch of different things, like different materials were used to try to, fix everything. There is painting and there is rugs, but other than that, it kind of looks like crap. You just try to put stuff in there to try to make it look better.
So it's obvious that given his position of mayor of the blocks, he's able to collect
like
a lot
nice
of things.
Desk, chandelier, rugs, fancy things. But a shithole is a shithole regardless.
And nothing matches.
Yeah.
All right, and so you make your way inside. You go up the stairs to his office, and he's like, "Ah, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to meet you. What can I do for you today?"
Well, before we get into business, I think Spaz wanted to talk to you. He'll just point at Spaz.
I thought you told me to shut up.
No, that was up first, but then I said that maybe you can talk.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Mr. Toby, man. Do you need anything repaired? Because I can repair it for you.
Do I need anything repaired?
Or maintained. I mean.
Or maintained. Yeah. I get where you're going. Okay. Anyway. Look.
I need some money.
Yeah, let's I think that's, getting down to the real nitty-gritty of what you wanted here. See, if I wanted something repaired, I would send one of my henchmen to you. You see, I'm organized, and I'm on the ball. I take care of things in the city. If something is happening, I get it to happen. But what really is going on here is you want something from me.
Yeah.
All right. What if I don't need something repaired? I don't need something maintained. What can you do for me?
I can so pretty good at the old noggin as far as research and looking up shit and digging into old stuff from the olden days.
Drugs. Drugs.
What? Now, he knows that already. So, there, I'm kind of, we're going out. So, if you need me to pick up, do anything out there, I can.
Need something picked up. I mean, that sounds like something, up Escalade's, alley right here.
That's why I'm with him.
You know what? Those guys over in the pits said they found something really interesting for me. And needs a little expertise to transport it. So I think this might be a job for the two of you. It requires both of your skill sets. So I know you know the professor, Spaz.
Yeah.
And so how about you? I'll give you 1 barter each. Y'all go over there, you pick it up. As fast as you take care of it, you bring it back here. Consider it a job well done.
Okay.
Is there any trouble to be expected?
Well, there's always trouble, outside the blocks. That's why people like me, is because I take care of them. I make sure they're fed. There's no Roman gang out there to kill you or steal you away.
I was just more curious in case I needed a hazard pay,
You need a what?
I was just more curious in case I needed hazard pay.
Oh, well, that's why I'm paying you in the first place. That is the hazard pay.
Gotcha. Well, as long as if anything happens, we don't get in trouble for taking care of it, then we're good.
All right. Shake on it. Toby hands out his hand to Escalade.
Yeah, he'll shake his hand.
And then he turns to Spaz.
Yeah. And he looks at his hand and wipes it off and holds it out.
All right. Deal's a deal, gentlemen. Expect y'all back by, tomorrow. About this time. Goods in tow and in one piece.
You got it, boss. You take care of yourself.
Sure you can see yourself out? Got some other work to take care of.
He'll close the doors behind him.
All right. And so y'all head out. Since I've been in y'all for a bit, before y'all go on your little journey, let's jump over to Sir and see what is going on in the club.
Yeah, Sir is just kind of, so they're open right now. Their business hours are like, 4 until 6 in the morning, and then they close for a bit to clean up, sleep, and then set up again. So they're probably still open right now. So he's just taking in the view from behind the bar, just kind of looking at everyone, making sure no one needs anything. If King's there, he's definitely looking him up and down, just that's my boy. That's my main boy.
King is definitely there. So definitely say King is there. Colette is there, for sure. Let's say King, Colette, and Thorn are there.
Okay. Yeah, he's gonna get a little drink from the bar, and he's just gonna saunter over to King.
King does his doesn't say a word, but does the little howdy hat tip.
Well, hello there, sexy. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, hello, sir. A little slow tonight, but wonderful as always.
Yeah. Any new battle wounds from your job, or anything you want to show me?
He lifts up his shirt, and yeah, you see a scar that's obviously been sutured together on his abdomen. Nothing too wild, but turns out people don't like being taken in.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I've bought you a drink, since you're one of our best customers. I figure this one's on the house, because I always get a nice show whenever you're around.
Yeah, King smiles and takes it and is like, oh, you shouldn't have.
No, it's no trouble, really. I mean, honestly, I feel like half of the reason we do so well is just because you're here and everyone just enjoys the eye candy.
And while this is going on, you hear Colette like at the bar complaining loudly.
Well, duty calls, but if you see me free sometime later tonight, then you can always hang out, do something fun. Always a pleasure for me, anyway.
He tips his hat and is like, "Me too."
All right, he's gonna saunter over to Colette.
Colette's like, "Sir, you've really got to do a better job about these cocktails. I swear. Maybe you should. They're just too citrusy. I don't know."
Colette, my darling, we've been over this. We have what we have. If you want something, then maybe you should start supplying us the ingredients that you want.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm not really one of the supplier types. I'm just, offering a little, constructive criticism.
Okay, yep, that is fair. All right, I'll tell you what, I'll make the drink in front of you, and you can tell me exactly how much of what you want me to put in it. How does that sound?
Okay.
Okay. Takes out a glass and starts taking out like various ingredients. It's like, what would you like, my darling?
So I'm kind of guessing like what specifically you want out of Colette is to like convince her to shut up, basically.
Yep.
So what is your kind of basic approach here? Because I could kind of see like you could be trying to manipulate her, like in that you're convincing her that you're giving her what she wants, or I don't know, perhaps like maybe you have another approach. I'm not sure.
It's more probably just slight manipulation, or more just he is just trying to straight up give her what he wants, so she'll stop being loud and like disruptive to like not ruin the mood of other people.
All right, that does sound like a manipulate roll. So this is a plus hot, which I'm pretty sure you can do pretty well in.
Yeah. What's the highlight do?
Highlight, every time you roll a highlighted stat, you gain experience.
Oh, okay. So that's a 7.
All right, a 7 is a partial success. So on a 7 and a 9, they'll go along with you, but they need some concrete assurance, corroboration, or evidence first. So she's basically complaining about like your stuff being too citrusy, and she's like, even if you make this one without that various citrusy alcohol and your like lemons and limes or whatever you have that you've made in the hydroponics garden, I don't know, you're just gonna make the next one with it. Like, you really should just get rid of the stuff.
Okay, I will get rid of it. He's just gonna take all the citrusy things and just put them like under the counter. See, no citrus. There you go. It'll be non-citrusy just for you. No acidity whatsoever. Pure bland.
It's like, I know you just put it under the counter. You really should just pour it out. It's really the worst stuff.
But the other people do like the citrus, so I'm afraid I can't quite just pour it out. That would cost me money, and I don't think you want to cover the cost of that, do you?
Look, I'm just trying to help you out here, and let's be really honest. They're just telling you that to make you feel better about yourself. I mean...
Yeah, yep. Do you want me?
So basically, like, she's kind of drawn her line in the sand is that she'll be happy if you get rid of it.
He's gonna take some, like, bottles that they have that's, like fake, like, water that they start pouring people if they get a little too rowdy, and he's just gonna take that and pretend it's, like, the citrus stuff, and then just pour it out, like, in the sink in front of her.
So I think this is enough to, like, convince her, and she's like, see, you just do what I say, and this place will really, really be on the up and up.
Yeah, I'm sure, I've been running this place for years, but I'm very sure that you definitely, can help me run my establishment.
And I think at this point she's like walking away with the cocktail, like the really citrusy cocktail in hand, and she's still drinking it.
Oh, that woman. At least she pays. That's all that matters.
So yeah, the club is kind of, it's not super busy tonight, but it's like, everything's going pretty well. You're able to kind of shut up Colette, which is always good. So how do you supply your club?
We have Brewster who like makes the drugs and stuff, and we like source the alcohol from like, I don't know, whoever's kind of nearby. We might make some in-house, like some beers and stuff.
So yeah, I think Brewster comes out. I don't think we decided on pronouns. Is Brewster like guy, girl, NB?
Yeah, probably like a he.
All right. So yeah, he comes out, and so Brewster's very chill, and kind of hippie-ish, and he's like, hey boss, I was kind of wondering. So we're running low on supplies, particularly for the drugs, and just wanted to let you know so you could pick us up some stuff.
Oh,
and he kind of pulls out a folded piece of paper, and he's like, here's a list of what I need.
All right. And he puts it in his pocket. He's like, I'll be sure to take care of that once we are closed for the night.
All right. So unless there's anything you want to do, I think the night goes by pretty uneventfully. Is there anything you want to do?
I don't think so.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, night rolls around. You can take a look at the list of supplies you need, and you immediately think of Amelia.
Yep. Yeah, he'll probably take a trip out to her after they close.
So do you do this like in the like super early hours of the morning? Do you wait for the sun to come up?
Well, we close at like 6 a.m. So
that is pretty early.
I think it depends on what time Amelia is usually up and about. Like if I know around what time, I'd probably just wait until then. Clean up the club a bit first, maybe take a nap, and then go.
Yeah. So Amelia, like when do people typically wake up at the aviary?
Well, considering we're having a ceremony, we are still up. Exit at like 6 a.m. So you would be coming in during bedtime.
Is this kind of a normal thing where y'all tend to party into the late hours of the night and people sleep through the morning?
I would say this happens about every other week. This happens. And it's going to be like a 3-day long event. So you're coming in at like the second day of the ceremonies.
Well, if he's aware of your ceremonies, he probably wouldn't go until he knows that they're done.
You're more than welcome to join.
Or yeah, I don't know. Or maybe
Amelia is very open with having visitors because it's just more people to witness the like amazement that we offer.
Oh yeah, but if you don't mind, then he probably would just go anyway and be like, "Hey, what's up?
Can I offer you something?"
So yeah, 6 a.m. or sometime after 6 a.m., sun's peeking up over the horizon, and you show up at the aviary, and Josh greets you at the door. Oh, sir, I totally didn't expect you at the aviary today. What a pleasant surprise.
Oh, yes. Hello, Josh. Always a pleasure. I'm in need for some supplies, and I was just wondering if Amelia was around, so you help me out with that. Or perhaps you could if she's busy.
Oh, yes. Amelia is in the center of the aviary with the various recruits going through our 3-day festival. Amelia, is there a name for this festival, or like whatever ritual or event?
The flocking.
Flocking. Ah, yes, it is the bi-monthly flocking where we bring in the new recruits.
You
can find her in the
flogging
center.
instead, and he's just picturing a bunch of flogging.
You are correct. It is flocking. It is a sex cult.
Oh, it's his favorite. He's like, oh man, I want to get flogged.
Oh, I missed the festivities.
So I'm kind of curious because I think in a way, like, it does feel like either it's like the two of you find a lot of like camaraderie and like one of you runs a sex cult and one of you runs a sex club, or it could be like there's like, you know, jealousness or like competitiveness or something like that, or both.
I find it probably more camaraderie than anything.
We supply each other.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So yeah, you're walking through, you know, everybody is like all out in the open. Everybody is like in various states of undress.
I would say since it's the wee hours of the morning, you're like there during the aftercare time. Everybody's just kind of snoozing under a tree or like cuddling. I'm specifically like sitting there like rubbing somebody's head, like comforting them. And that is where you find me.
Amelia, my beautiful, beautiful friend and supplier. How are you tonight?
I'm doing wonderful. It is a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, you too. It's always fun to come visit over here. You guys have a lot of fun. I should really come by more often.
Yes, you should. You miss all the fun festivities when you're away.
Yeah, I can tell I missed the flogging, and that's like my favorite part.
Yeah, we did that yesterday.
Oh man, I should have stopped by, but the club was so busy yesterday. I couldn't step away for even a moment.
You know,
that was really causing a scene, and I just, the headache that woman gives me.
You mentioned supplies.
Yes, we are in need of some supplies. Here is the list from Brewster. He's just going to pull it out of his jacket pocket and hand it over.
Why do you go through so much citrus? Like,
I think people just like the acidity. I think what it is people like to do like the fancy kind of shots, you know, where they like eat the lime after, but the lime is in someone else's like mouth, or like, you know, they like to squeeze it into like the belly button.
Oh, I know. We patented that before it came to your club. I know very well about that. But the amount of citrus. Are you making like lemonade now?
Well, you know, sometimes during the day, I do like to make lemonade during the off hours of the bar. But I don't know. I think maybe one of our newer hires still isn't quite sure how much citrus we put in things. I think they might be going a little overboard. I'll have to talk to them tomorrow.
That's fine. We can we can certainly fix your little citrus issue. We are running low on some of our liquors, and somebody broke our St. Andrew's cross. We need another one. Somebody broke it. But if you're all fine with that exchange, I can send you with the citrus, and I can come back with you to the block. Josh has ran these things before without me, and it's only one day left. I could come back with you.
I mean, I'm sure we have some alcohol that Brewster can whip up for you. I think I can probably find the cross. I probably know a guy. For sure.
Yeah. Would you like to stay for a bit, or are you in a rush to hurry back?
Well, I think I missed all the fun parts, so really, it's up to you.
Then we can go ahead and make our way back to the blocks.
Alrighty.
Cool. So y'all are planning to head back to the blocks. Are y'all heading straight to the club, or are y'all stopping anywhere else?
I would say since we have supplies on us, right back there.
Yeah.
All right.
And then, like, if Spaz, because I know Spaz, right? If his house is on the way, I want to see if he's home. So I feel like he could either fix the cross or he knows where one would be.
Has Spaz and Escalade left for the pits yet?
I think we wouldn't yet, because if I remember correctly, he has some type of grenade launcher thing in the back of my Escalade. So we will have to take that out so that way we can put more supplies in. I imagine that he built this like weird cannon-looking thing with like a small couch he can sit on and stuff. So it's this weird contraption, and they're removing it so that way they can leave.
All right, yeah. So by the time Sir and Amelia make it back to the blocks, you see Spaz's garage with the garage door open, and you see Spaz at Escalade there.
I'm just gonna holler, Spaz, buddy.
Hello,
Hey,
boys.
Would you get? Well, we need to stop by the bar, but Spaz, perhaps you could come with us for a moment. We might be in need of your assistance.
Your company would greatly be appreciated.
Yeah, no, not
Long
really.
time no see.
I'm going to like reach into my bosom, shake a little bag of drugs.
Wait, did you even put your clothes back on, or have you just been naked this whole time?
I'm in my club attire that I typically wear to your establishment. So it's pretty much like bikini zone with some straps. Just whoop, little bag of drugs.
I've had my no.
No,
So
you don't want it?
You don't want to help out your dear friend who occasionally supplies you with alcohol? Like...
So you can try to manipulate Spaz. You can manipulate PCs as well. It does work a little differently though.
Tell me what I need to do.
It's plus hot.
Oh, somebody give me a bonus in that.
I think I highlighted, or somebody highlighted your hot.
Yeah, highlight.
Yeah, okay.
So you get an experience for rolling it.
Yeah, but I have a neg one in hot. 9, so that's an 8.
Okay, so that is a partial success. For a PC, so Spaz can choose one of, if you go along with her, you mark experience, or if you refuse, you erase one of your highlighted stats for the remainder of the session.
Me?
So basically on PC, no, this is for Spaz. For PCs, it's kind of a carrot and a stick. They either pick the carrot or they pick the stick.
Yeah, I think Spaz is like goal oriented right now. So he's gonna refuse.
Okay.
And the stat I'm gonna erase is sharp.
All right. So how do you let Amelia know that you refuse?
We got stuff to do, things to go about. We're trying to build the ultimate like boom boom machine. But I can do it after we get done.
Okay, that sounds fair enough. When are you going to be done?
It'll at least a day, maybe more.
Yeah, at least, round the old oak tree, half past the cow's ass.
Okay. So, well, are you able to fix a cross?
What?
The cross. Do you think you could fix one?
Fix a cross?
You know, those X-shaped ones, the one in Sir's club.
Yeah, you've seen them before at my club. Sometimes that's out of my club because sometimes our patrons do tend to get a little rough.
My feather got a little rowdy yesterday and broke it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can fix stuff.
Okay, awesome.
So-
problem solved. Sir will fix your cross. I will give you alcohol.
So I think the way this would play out is that if you want to do a quick job where it doesn't interfere with going to the pits for the job you promised Toby, you would basically weld the pieces back together, and it would be a very noticeable. Like it would look like a quick job. I think it longer work to make it so it's like kind of seamless and unnoticeable, like you would not be able to do without putting off Toby's job. and putting off your own work to go see the professor.
Yeah, no. Spaz is gotta go see the professor.
Then this entire time, Escalade's just sitting there smoking a cigarette, watching this whole thing happen.
Are you like sitting in your car?
He's sitting
on
in the trunk that is open. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sort of imagining. Yeah, your car is like pulled in front first, so you're sitting at the back, facing the street. Yeah.
I can do a patch job real quick, but that's about it.
Well, perhaps we could wait a day. But if you really need one desperately, you could take one from the club and then give us your broken one.
Yeah,
I don't need it right away.
I don't need it till the next ceremony. Like, we have weeks.
Well, then, Spaz, we can wait. We can wait some time so you can do a good fix. You don't want something shoddy on your cross. No, it has to be pristine. Look beautiful.
And we didn't even bring it with us.
Yeah, it was just I just wanted to make sure you were home and could assist us in this.
Where is this so-called cross at?
The aviary.
Yeah, we can do that later.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, much later. Yeah, later.
Yeah, well, you boys appear quite busy, so I suppose we will leave you to it. Stop by the club any time. Escalade, good to see you.
Same. If you guys ever need a ride, just let me know.
Of course, and I want to thank you for bringing our new members all the way out to the aviary the other day.
Not a problem. You just gotta be careful. They were all trying to drag me in there with them.
I've let them know to only invite you in, not to force you.
Yeah, maybe next time. I'll wait until you give me a personal invitation.
Of course.
All right. So for Spaz, because I think in the end you did agree to do the work on the cross, you don't need to remove the highlighted stat, and instead you mark experience.
Okay.
Assuming you will actually eventually repair the cross.
Yeah. Eventually. So where is the experience at?
That should be like 5 little bubbles on your sheet.
Where is that magic bubble?
It's on improvement.
Oh, yeah. So there's improvement, and right under that it says experience, and there are 5 little
yeah. Okay, cool.
bubbles.
I see it.
So basically every 5 experience, you get an improvement.
Okay.
So you guys just wanted something fixed, that's it?
Yeah, we just, I just was wondering if Spaz could help us fix the cross.
Surprised none of your little flock are handyman.
I mean, we have a few, but for a piece that delicate, I'd like some clean work on it.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if you guys are interested, but we are gonna go salvaging, so...
I'm interested.
Yeah.
Of course you are there.
Fine.
Sir, do you want to run this supplies off by the bar, and then we'll come back and leave with the boys?
Yep, we can go to the bar. You can tell Brewster what liquor you would like, and he'll get right on that for you and see if we have everything you need, and if he needs to make some more.
How is Spaz feeling about riding out to the pits with Amelia?
He's tweaking. He's kind of...
if Escalade's notice, he's just gonna be like, "It's okay, buddy. I'll let you sit wherever you want. You can sit in the front with me, or you can sit in the back. We'll sit you around. You'll be fine."
Yeah.
So yeah, I found it funny because normally I would imagine Spaz wouldn't shut up, and like we're suddenly stuck in a moment where Spaz is suspiciously quiet. But it sounds like a group road trip to the pits. So, other than dropping supplies off at the club, are there any preparations before y'all head out?
I think Spaz, after they leave, Spaz would have a conversation with Escalade.
So yeah, this is after Amelia and Sir have headed off to the bar, before y'all head out.
What the fuck?
It's called safety in numbers, my friend.
Safety in numbers? She's the freakazoid!
I don't think you can talk.
What do you mean talk? I don't go around going oona, 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 you know, and get people to lick my ass.
Not exactly, but I don't know. You should look in the mirror sometime and then say the things you say to me and then, go from there.
Just wrong. Just wrong. It's just all wrong.
Yeah, just look at it as it's a business thing. We go out, the more people we have, the better we can salvage. Maybe we can find something you need.
Well, of course I'm going to find something I need, but still, I mean, serves one thing. I doubt that, this goodwill and fortune is going to, eventually he's going to kick me out of the bar again. So.
How about this? The whole time you stick with Sir. Maybe you can butter Sir up, and that way he won't kick you out of his bar. I'll stay with Amelia, and then that way you don't have to worry about her doing whatever she's gonna do to you.
She wants me.
Everybody wants you, buddy.
Yeah, but she wants to keep me in a box. No.
I wouldn't be against that, but don't worry. I will make sure it doesn't happen.
You sure?
You'll be fine. It's okay. Have I ever let you down yet?
No, you haven't. But there was that one time.
Don't worry. I'll when we leave, I'll get you something to take the edge off, so that way you won't be thinking about that.
Okay. Get good stuff.
Do my best.
All right. Are y'all just gonna drop the supplies off, or is there anything specific y'all want to do?
Drop it off, inform Brewster, maybe just leave a note on the bar for other staff that I'm going on a trip to the pits, we'll be back.
Yeah, Brewster
and the other staff should know how to take care of the bar if I don't make it back by opening.
I'm putting little brochures in hidden spots in the bar.
I don't think Sir minds if you put brochures even out in the open, as long as you make sure that they also come to the club still.
On the back of it, it's a coupon for the club.
Yeah, then he doesn't mind. You can put them out in the open. He doesn't care. He has a little designated little spots for you to put them in, on the wall.
But nobody ever looks in those spots, so I'm putting them in every other spot but the designated spot.
I love the kind of synergistic effect y'all have going with each other. It's join the cult. Also, come to the club and party.
Listen, you party at the club, you go home, and then you party at the aviary. It's fine.
Exactly.
Benefits everyone.
All right, so I think everything at the bar goes fine. Yeah, Brewster takes the crate of supplies, and he's like, yeah, thanks, boss. And Amelia, not so subtly, leaves brochures everywhere. and y'all head back to Spaz's garage, where y'all are gathering to make your way out to the pits. So I sort of imagine the area. So one reason both the blocks and the aviary are such important places to people is they do provide safety. The aviary is probably only a mile, so it's the journey's not too dangerous, but the pits is maybe more 20 miles, say north of the city, north of the blocks. So it's a substantially more dangerous journey. It's I'm not really imagining the world as like it being kind of like, Mad Max wastelands, but there are still like, roaming gangs who like to accost random travelers and either steal from them or steal them for various nefarious purposes. So, Escalade, since you are our driver, it's pretty much up to you to make sure we travel outside of the city to the pits safely. So, what is your basic approach to ensure this happens?
Oh, well, it depends. Are we going during the night or during the day?
That is pretty much up to you. I would say it's pretty early morning still, maybe like 8 or 9 o'clock. But you have some leeway. Like you could postpone the trip until that night and still have plenty of time to complete the job.
I think the day and time is fine. What he's probably gonna do is, since Spaz has been working on the Escalade for a while, is that instead of taking the main road, he would go off-road.
Okay.
Probably so that way he can see farther better, just in case if he sees something, maybe he can hide behind like a abandoned spot or somewhere we cover.
Okay, so the roads outside of like kind of the major, like the blocks, the area, the pits, are these like roads left over from the old ones, or are these kind of newer roads?
It's probably match between like some of the old ones, and then they got not repaved, but they just put junk to try to make it so they're all messed up.
All right, and what is the terrain in this area like? Like, we're talking like flat open plains? Is it kind of like rocky?
I would say
mountainous. Rocky. Okay.
Yeah, rocky mountains. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. I kind of noticed the picture that Dave picked with the broken, decayed city. Like, makes me think of like kind of the American West. So it's kind of like deserty, kind of rocky, and mountainous. Yeah. Cool. So yeah, you pick off the roads. I'm guessing your thinking is that like, travelers who are maybe desperate are probably taking the roads because it's like the how they know how to make it somewhere safe, but it's also like it would be easier to get jumped in the road with bandits and raiders and God knows what. So. All right. So yeah, I think I'll need you to make a act under fire. Where the fire here is you're trying to avoid running into any sort of gangs or bandits. So act under fire is a cool roll.
All right, that's an 11, and I have +2 in cool.
Yeah, you knock it out of the park. So, I mean, partly because you are going off-road and you're kind of making use of like lots of cover of rocks to like break line of sight, and like how to kind of keep a lookout for ambushes and all that kind of stuff. You easily make your way towards the pits without running into any sort of problems. Or at least detouring yourself if you see any roaming biker gangs or anything.
I think on the way there, he would look at Spaz and just tell him to keep a lookout, and then he would look at Amelia. Do you still have that bag on you that you showed us earlier?
What bag?
You know what I'm talking about.
Do I?
When the drugs that you had shown Spaz.
Maybe. They might be gone.
Well, if you do, let me get it. I'm trying to calm him a little, so that way he doesn't jump out of the car.
Did Amelia give that bag to Spaz as payment for the cross? Oh, so you pulled it out and showed it, but didn't actually.
Well, the tempting was and he rejected it.
Well, he eventually came around though.
I would say begrudgingly she will take it out and reach over, caress Spaz's shoulder and set it in his lap And then we'll like slink back in our chair and just kind of relax.
Thank you, sweetheart. And he's gonna look us past, and then he's gonna be like, "You got anything on you?" And put his hand out.
He goes, no.
Anything on me? What do you mean, anything on me?
Drugs.
Of course I do.
All right, let me get it. And whenever he gets whatever he's had, he's gonna throw it in the bag, mix it up, and here you go.
What the fuck did you do?
Just take it. Mellow out, man.
Yeah, alright. He, Spaz pulls out a Gatorade. Just dumps it in.
And when you say pull out a Gatorade, you're talking about like an ancient Gatorade bottle that has who knows what's in it at this point.
Well, Spaz made his own Gatorade, so
Of course.
you know it's his version of energy drink. So you put the powder in, you know. And so
Shake it out.
yeah.
So it's an energy drink with some who knows what kind of drug that you just poured into it.
Mhm.
Does it mellow you out or does it like amp you up?
Combination of both. It makes me like chill,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but it makes me aware of.
So
the
you took Adderall.
Yeah, essentially. So. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of imagining this is what makes you like so good as like a watch out while you're driving.
For sure. And I get in. So I get in the. As I get on my character sheet, the pop-up grenade launcher hatch. So on the Escalade. So, you know, and I'm there looking around.
And this is on the rear
On the
of the
Escalade.
vehicle.
Yeah. That was my first rendition of weaponry.
Uh-huh.
So,
Right.
but it's you know the problem with that particular weapon is that well, it's passenger operated, which is good because I'm like there, you know, stuff like that. The sucky part is they got to get all up close and personal with you. So it's close area and it's messy. Guys don't care about the messy part, but it's the up close part, you know, because
Yeah. How else can you enjoy it if you can't, you know, see it up close?
yeah, but there's that risk of scariness because you know other people
Yeah.
have weapons that can shoot from far distances. Spaz wants that to happen too, so
Sure. You know, it's also explosive and close up, which is maybe a little dangerous.
yeah, for sure.
All right. So because Escalade is being so careful and his driving and making sure you all get to the pits safely, what are y'all doing to pass the time, other than doing Gatorade drugs?
Does the car have a radio?
Sure, it probably has like a cassette player.
Amelia's like flipping through the cassettes, looking for some music.
So what kind of cassettes do you have on you, Escalade?
He
Or
probably just
Spaz?
has.
Spaz could have left some cassettes too, I guess.
Yeah,
I would think Escalade would have like a box just of random stuff like rock and other kinds of stuff that he just found while salvaging. So probably anything you think of is in there.
you also come across a tape that says Sir's nightclub music.
Immediately passes that one. I'm looking for like this world's equivalent of I can't remember it off the top of my head.
What kind of music is it?
You know what? She's looking for Master of Puppets. Anything
Yeah,
similar.
there would definitely be some Metallica in there for sure.
Nice.
Looking for Metallica-like bands.
Yeah, so you flip the cassettes and you pop one in and it's like instant, like very fast paced, like 80s metal, just like And I think initially the volume is like turned up a little too high, like not like blowing out your eardrums, but it's like definitely like catches y'all off guard.
And I'm just gonna like stick my head out the window, or like even half of my torso, and I'm like holding onto the window, and I'm just enjoying the breeze.
This feels like a very Spaz move. In fact, I think Spaz was describing something just like this earlier.
Amelia likes him for a reason.
Uh-huh.
She thinks that they're birds of a feather.
Ah. Spaz, what do you think about this?
Spaz is not.
Not amused.
Spaz is like
Go ahead. Sorry.
is on that verge of kind of looking over and going to himself, "What the fuck?" And,
Do you think like she's mocking you, or like speaking to you in a way?
Spaz is not too sure what to think. The drugs have kicked in at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
and so he's like indifferent.
I'm sort of like, you know that meme? It's from some show, The Woman, with like all of like the mathematic like geometry and like equations and stuff, and she's just kind of like staring a little confused, like sort of imagining Spaz is like got this like doesn't know what to think and is trying to like math out like what is going on.
If anybody looks at him, especially Escalade, you'll see his left eye twitching.
You know the other meme that's currently floating around of like says that she wants to order, and it's a girl crawling across the driver's seat like with her head out the window? That is what Amelia is doing in the back, is just over Sir's lap, and it's just halfway out the window.
I love that meme.
And what does Sir think about Amelia crawling over him?
I mean, Sarah was trying to nap, and then the music startled him for a second, and then she crawled over him, and he's just like, whatever, and he's just going back to trying to nap. He's like, I worked all night, I'm sleeping, this is my nap time. Waking up when we get there. Probably just has like a hand on the back, like patting it until he like passes out.
I think this is what Amelia is doing to stay awake, because Sir did come in like during her bedtime. So she's like using the air to wake herself up.
Mm-hmm. And what is Escalade? Are you reacting to all of this going on at all?
He's probably laughing, but at one point he just goes like, "If you two are gonna do anything back there, don't get anything in my seats. I don't want to ruin the leather." So.
All right. So I think I said it's about 20 miles, and given that Escalade's being very, very careful, I think it maybe takes you a couple of hours to make your way to the pits. So it's probably noonish when you get there. So as the pits is basically a mining and salvaging operation, I was kind of actually picturing that this old city was in what was originally a valley that's now a lake. And so the pits are kind of built around the edge of this area, where they are both kind of digging into the earth next to the lake and are also like do salvaging operations into the water. And so you drive your way in. Given that it's Escalade in your car, you're instantly recognized, and they kind of wave you in, and you head to the professor's shack. So I imagine that like a lot of the buildings here are not kind of built up the way the blocks are. They're more kind of mostly permanent buildings, but are also kind of like a bit more sprawly. So do y'all like knock on the professor's door?
Yeah, immediately Spaz jumps out of the ride and runs over and Professor!
So I also imagine, because this is the professor, the door has some old world tech in it. Like it has like the there's like a little box by the door with what we would recognize like as a camera. And you hear this, "Hello, Spaz. I see you have made it out here in one piece. I also see you've brought some friends. But I'll open the door. Give me a moment. I have a guest here." And you hear like a buzzing sound as a magnet is disengaged from the door.
I'll let myself in.
Everybody else follow?
Yeah, so I gave like Amelia a look when he said, "I have a guest right now," in a like suggestive way, and like, "Oh, I wonder what kind of guest."
So y'all walk in, and there's like a kind of a like maybe like a smaller living area in the front of the professor's abode, and there's an open door, what looks to go into more like a workspace. And yeah, you hear what is obviously the professor's voice, his like kind of slow, soft, monotonish way of speaking. And you also hear a kind of louder, kind of assertive voice talking with him. What do y'all do?
I walk on in.
I'm glancing around, seeing what's inside.
Yeah, it's a very utilitarian space. It's kind of, like I said, like a living room in front. There are a couple of couches and a kind of table. Nothing particularly fancy. Really, and he's kind of the person where he doesn't really like decorate his space. Like, it's extremely utilitarian. And so Spaz walks into his workspace, and you see the professor and you see Roland. And kind of the last thing you really hear is the professor saying, like, I don't know if I can do this for you. And for the Watcher's benefit, so Roland here is one of the silvered ones. He's kind of got that, like, I don't want to say like tech bro, but kind of like he looks like if he were in our world, he would be a C-suite for some startup-ish type company. Like he gives off like douchebag vibes. And he's obviously both on his head and in his hands, he has some sort of high-tech stuff that no one here would recognize. And also we have the professor, who we have previously been acquainted with. So Spaz, what are you doing?
I kind of stand there like shocked and not amused. Drugs are still working its way through the system. But Spaz goes finds a couch to sit on. And plops down.
Back in the living room or in the workshop? Because I think you said you walked into the workshop. Okay.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's maybe like just a random bench that the professor's collected. He's put in the workshop. And the professor turns to you and is like, "Oh, Spaz.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Have you met Roland before?"
I don't remember.
Roland's like, yeah, I met Spaz, the obviously named Spaz because the guy is a Spaz. Anyway, can you do this for me or not? And the professor is like, "Look, I told you, I've never seen anything like that before."
What is it?
And Roland turns to you and it's like, "Have you seen anything like this before?" And it's basically, it looks like some sort of like it's instantly recognizable as high tech because it is like in pristine condition. It's like there's like no scratch or dust or anything. It's like this like perfectly not quite metal like casing to it. It looks like, very strong, very sturdy, but it doesn't have that quite like metallic sheen to it. And you sort of instantly notice there's like towards the bottom, it's got this like blinking red light.
Oh, that might not be good.
Since Amelia was raised by a collector with books and artifacts, if she sees this, is there anything in particular I could roll to see if I recognize this item? And do I recognize Roland as an associate of the collector?
Do you recognize, is Roland an associate of the collector? So I think it's entirely possible that the collector somehow had contacts with the silvered ones. I don't know if it would specifically be Roland. Like Roland, I mean, I'd say Roland is like, you know, on the younger side of middle-aged. I don't know how old your collector is.
I would say it's probably Amelia's grandfather, and if she's in her like mid-late 20s, he's probably like up there. So maybe not in the same age range as Roland, a little older.
I mean, I will say that Roland is one of the few silvered ones who actually interacts with the lower classes. Most of the silvered ones are like, they're like, you know, off in their flying city and don't care about anyone else.
I'm just kind of going to like peek my head around the corner, tucking that white silver streak in my hair behind my ear, and I'm kind of like trying to glance at what he has in his hand.
So actually, I think they're probably, maybe you saw him when he was much younger, or like maybe like he was in his 20s when you were a little kid, kind of thing. When you were growing up, and you kind of like recognized him a little bit older now. What else was I going to say? I totally forgot. I'm sorry. But I think you have he's also like, Sir definitely recognizes him because he's been at the club before.
Roland.
Yeah, and like, you know, Roland is like, was very intent on like asking Spaz about this item, and suddenly he like stops and kind of looks over, and he's like, takes a second. Amelia?
Hello.
I almost didn't recognize you. You're so grown up now.
And I'm just going to like walk around the corner. He's now seeing that I'm still in bikini outfit with straps, and I'm going to lean against the wall.
I definitely think he has that moment where it's because he knew you as a young kid and he sees you like not just as an adult, but like a scantily clad adult. It's like definitely like his mind is kind of breaking for a second.
What do you have there?
Oh, it's a device. I was trying to learn about it.
I got it.
And he shows it to you, and you see the same thing that Spaz saw.
I'm going to get very, very close to Roland and like take it out of his hands if he will allow me.
I don't think he's gonna be like just will readily give it up.
Then I just want to like touch it while it's in his hands and like just kind of examine it. Just to see if I recognize it at all.
You do not. It is very high tech. You were raised by the collector. I'm trying to think, maybe there's a role. I was gonna say like, what if there was like an item version of Read a Person, but that would be very much up Spaz's alley.
It would. I don't recall seeing this in the collector's home at all.
And he's like, yeah, it would be very unlikely for the collector to have an item of this. This is the highest of high tech of the silvered ones.
I wonder how you got your hands on it. And I'm going to turn and go back to the wall.
Spaz says, looks over. Give me a second. And Spaz runs out and goes to the Escalade. And that special area that he installed not too long ago, pops it open, pulls out the stuff, runs back in. And I am going to use my special thing that I rolled earlier. Bone Feel.
What is... So Bone Feel is what allows you to show up in a scene that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. So I don't think that would be useful here.
Okay.
I mean, because you're already here.
Well,
unfortunately, you don't have the move Things Speak.
Which one?
Things Speak. It basically allows you to do something like read a person, but on an item.
Okay, gotcha. Because I was just wondering, because it says with proper tools and knowledge, with or without any clear. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Anytime either you or MC can spend your hold to have you already be there. So yeah, the main thing for Bone Feel is that it allows you to enter a scene that otherwise you wouldn't be able to.
Okay.
Like if you, for whatever, like you could be on the moon and be like, well, I want to be on this scene on Earth, and it's like, you just show up.
Just teleports.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like kind of like, how did you get here?
Okay. Gotcha.
Plot holes.
But I mean, I do think as a character, because you are the savvy head, it's like inspecting items is kind of your thing. And I do think like having like appropriate tools with you does make sense. So I'm trying to think of like an appropriate thing you could roll, given that you don't have Things Speak.
Yeah.
Well, so in
Sure.
Apocalypse World, there is kind of like, it's not quite a catch-all move, but you could always open your brain to the world's psychic maelstrom.
I could, yeah.
This basically like allows you to ask a question or two and potentially get some sort of answer from the howling chaos that is everywhere in our world, but not everybody can access.
Okay. Yeah.
And so before you make that roll,
Mm-hmm.
what does it look like for Spaz to open his brain?
I think a lot has to do with him has been on the calming drug / aware drug that he mixed his Gatorade.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's hit that part of the bottle that it hasn't been mixed that well. So or the calming stuff has settled in a different area, and so like sugar in a tea glass. So now you're getting just the bitter tea instead of the sweetness. So he's getting the more aware part of the Gatorade bottle.
So there's something in this drug that kind of like attunes you to the maelstrom.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and maybe attunes to him in general because of the nature of him in general. Because I do also have deep insights. So
yeah, and I sort of like imagine that like during normal times, Spaz is just like internal experience is just this like chaos of thoughts. And that now you've taken this drug, there's like these thoughts kind of start to order themselves in a way that it's like you're suddenly getting these insights that were kind of there before, but you couldn't really grasp onto.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so roll weird.
Okay, so I get a +3. You get a. So does. Okay, so I don't think I get anything else with that, do I?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, here we go. 2d6. 14.
Jesus, y'all are rolling good today. And make sure y'all don't forget to mark experience, because I'm pretty sure weird is one of your highlighted stats.
Yes.
So yeah, I think for a moment, you're kind of doing like your, searching in your own head and kind of like pulled into this like internal experience. And you start to have this, like, you kind of close your eyes and you have this vision of this kind of like circle of what kind of appear, they sort of, there's one silvered one, but the others don't look like silvered ones, and they're all wearing, except for the silvered one, the others are wearing lab coats. And you're just kind of you from your point of view, and everybody else, it's just this kind of like open expanse of blackness, except you see these kind of like dark rolling clouds overhead, and there's like the largest like bolts of lightning you've ever seen, and they're just kind of like, they like hit once and then like 30 seconds pass, another one hits, and then it can get faster and faster and faster. And you kind of like, for whatever reason, your view is drawn away from the lightning towards this group of people, and they're standing around like a pedestal with like some sort of container you can't quite make out on it. And the lightning all suddenly starts hitting this one device, almost like the lightning's being pulled into it. And then suddenly the lightning's gone, and you just see this kind of like glow from this pedestal. And then suddenly you kind of hear the professor, Spaz, are you still with us?
Whoa! That was deep.
For a second, I thought we had lost you.
Oh, yeah. So, lots of scientists, lots of lab coats. This thing is like highly electrocuted.
And Roland's like, right, electricity. Do you know, can you help me here?
I can.
And Roland kind of like does this kind of look over at the professor, and the professor just kind of has this like kind of blank, shrug. He's like, and then Roland's like, good. Can you help me now? Like, do you got your stuff here? Like, what do we need to do here? And Roland like is normally kind of has like that like smooth, but like you feel kind of his like a bit of aggression underneath his smoothness going on, but he feels a little like you feel a hint of panic from him.
So we can do it back at my shop.
Yeah, your shop. Yeah. You're back in the blocks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we head out now?
Yeah. Give me a second.
We came here to take care of some things. Might be a little bit before we can take off. Is everything okay?
Yeah, no, everything's fine. It's just, the stodgy, the silvered ones, they think they know everything, but yeah, I think there are some things that need to be figured out they can't take care of.
Escalade.
Escalade was smoking this whole time, so he just takes his cigarette and puts it off in like a show. Yeah, buddy.
I think the professor like walks into the living room and like has this little hand fan, and before you can even put out your cigarette, he takes it, flicks it out the front door, and is like, and he's like, "Please don't smoke in here. There's lots of delicate equipment."
I'll remember that next time. Pulls out another cigarette.
So, yes.
Escalade did talk to you.
Escalade? Pardon my rudeness. I'm afraid I haven't met either of you. And he looks at Amelia and Sir.
Sir, would you like to go first?
Sure. Hello, I'm Sir. It's very lovely to meet you, Professor. And he's just gonna like put a hand on his arm, kind of caress it a little bit.
So, yeah, I think Professor seems like either he doesn't pick it up or he's just like, he just is unfazed by it.
That's fine.
I am Amelia Roscam. I run the aviary, about 20-ish, 19 miles out of here. And I'm just going to hand a I'm going to glance at Roland, and it was Roland, right? And then just hand the pamphlet to the professor, and not to him. And we'd love if you'd want to stop by sometime.
He looks down at it and is just kind of like, interesting. I'm not really a religious person, though. And he kind of folds it up and sticks it in his coat pocket, his like lab coat.
Not a lot of religion there, but that's fine.
Sure, you say
Okay.
so. I assume that you are Spaz's friends. You seem like a interesting group of people.
You could say that.
And the professor's looking over at Spaz.
Spaz is kind of like, You see his eyeball twitching.
So Spaz, like one thing. Sorry, I'm just reading something in text. Okay. So yeah, Spaz, you know that the professor is like, he doesn't really care about things that aren't his work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he sort of sees Sir and Amelia as being like kind of counter to that, and it's definitely like, passion for your work should take a precedence above everything, and that's like, you almost feel this kind of like fatherly scolding without him actually saying anything.
Yeah. And Spaz is kind of giving the look of like, I didn't invite them. And kind of like looks at them and then looks over at Escalade and kind of just gives that whole
All right. Well, I know you came here for a reason.
Yes.
So perhaps Spaz and I should maybe we should speak alone, and y'all can enjoy yourself here in my living room.
Indeed.
That could be taken a lot of ways.
What?
Sir and I are just like glancing at each other like back and forth.
It's just like, fine, if he doesn't want to have fun, I guess we can just have all the fun by ourselves.
And it's the kind of thing the professor just does not seem to pick up on. All right. So I think this would be a good spot to take a break. That's maybe a little bit overdue. But when we come back, we will get back to the business between Spaz and the professor. And then we could see like what's going to happen with the trip back to the blocks and what is going on with Roland. Our break is going to be about 15 to 20 minutes. So see you back then.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining us for yet another XP Guild show. If you are enjoying this, please do us a favor, click like, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to be notified when our next show goes live. Feel free to drop us a comment. We'd love to hear from you guys, hear your thoughts on the show, or anything else you want to talk about. I'd like to take a quick moment to say thank you to our friends over at Hero Forge, a Skycastle LLC product. We are not sponsored by them, but if you're looking for great custom miniatures, check out HeroForge.com. They've been so kind to let us use their art, as many of the miniatures and artwork that we use come from their website with their permission. However, they have not reviewed our content, and so what we do does not necessarily represent their views or beliefs. Again, thank you to Hero Forge. Now, let's get back to the show. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us for yet
Welcome everyone back to our exciting and sexy and strangely scientific and drunk-filled episode of Session 1 of Apocalypse World. So last year we left people off. They had traveled out to the pits to meet Spaz's mentor, the Professor, for a number of reasons. First, Spaz is wanting to trade for 10 machine guns. Spaz and Escalade had also been hired by Toby, Mayor of the Blocks, to pick up a special package for him. And as well, Sir, our club owner, and Amelia, our cult leader, had decided to tag along. When they got there, they met Roland, one of the silvered ones, who was holding some strange high-tech device with an ominous blinking red light. So here we are, back in the Professor's place, and with finally Spaz and Professor getting some time alone to talk to each other. Spaz, you've brought some strange people with you.
I didn't want them to come, but it's all Escalade's fault. He's like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing?
I see. Anyway.
He does that kind of shit all the time.
He's your driver friend, yes?
Yeah.
I've heard many things about him. Anyway.
What? Yeah.
You came for the guns, correct?
Yeah, most definitely.
Do you have the barter to exchange?
I'm setting it up now. I've actually got, I'm supposed to do some stuff for, Mr. Toby. And he's like, Hoogie.
Yeah, you see a light go off in the Professor's eyes, and he's like, oh, he must have hired you to pick up his package. This is really good. You are the best person to take care of it on the drive back.
Awesome.
And I know you were good for the barter. Just please get it to me, within the week. I will be needing it.
For sure.
And he kind of leads you farther back in his workshop, and he's got a couple of things stacked up, but one of them is a crate he pulls out that he opens up, and you see basically exactly 10 machine guns carefully packed in this rather large crate. And then he also pulls out a briefcase, and he very carefully sets it on top of the crate. And he's like, be very careful. Do not shake it or drop it. It is very delicate.
Gotcha. Right. Okay. Probably need Escalade in here.
Yes. And he walks over to his workshop door, opens it back up, and he looks straight at Escalade. And Escalade, you've never met the Professor before this day, but he just looks straight at you and says, Escalade, I will need your help carrying some stuff to your vehicle.
Of course. I imagine the thing we came for, correct?
Yes. And this would also be a perfect time to do your reputation roll.
Yay, so... Alright, I rolled a 2d10, right?
2d10.
I mean 2d6, my bad.
Yeah. Yes, 2d6. I forget the stat. Whatever stat's listed on your roll.
Okay, I rolled a 9, and I have 2 cool, so that's 11. It says 10 plus you take a 1 forward. I don't know what that means.
So a +1 forward just means it's a +1 to the next roll. dealing with this person.
I get you.
And I believe the role also gives you the opportunity to tell us what they know about you.
Well, I would think that he probably heard that I used to be like a raider captain, and not a lot of people know that. They just think that I'm just a normal driver, but he used to pretty much be like running around raiding, killing people, pillaging, and all that. So,
Is this true, or is this just what he heard?
well, he did hear that, but it's semi-true. Like, I but I wasn't the captain. I was like the person underneath the captain. It was just mainly that since I was the driver, I would tell people all kinds of like shit that wasn't true, and they believed it. And then when the captain died, they made me the captain, but then I left because I didn't want to do that.
So I think we get this like your like brief scene inside the professor's head where he sees you out in the rocky areas, in the countryside, and you're like at the head of this like massive like raider gang, and you're on some some giant tank like thing, except you're kind of sitting on top and you got this like giant wheel, and you're just like you like hold up your hand to your gang, and then you like throw it forward, telling them to go, and you and your gang are thundering across the countryside. And then like a split second later, he comes back to you and he's like, "Nice to meet you."
Pleasure. Nice to meet you. I heard a lot of good things from my buddy Spaz over here.
Yes, you're one of Spaz's friends. He does keep interesting company.
You could say that.
Anyway, there's a crate over here with machine guns that Spaz taken back to his workshop.
Alright. Yeah, he'll go over there and help him move everything to the back of the truck.
Yeah, so
Car.
The professor very carefully picks up the briefcase and hands it to Spaz.
Spaz takes
and
it.
then he turns to you, Escalade, and he says, "This is the crate. I believe it'll fit in the back of your vehicle."
Is there any chance that if that bumps it's gonna explode, because he's holding it really carefully?
Are you talking about the briefcase?
Yeah, the briefcase.
It is very delicate and must not be dropped. It's for Toby.
Okay.
The machine guns, however, are very expertly stored.
Understand. Anything else I should know, or maybe any advice on routes to take back?
Try not to hit any bumps really hard.
Noted.
And he turns to Spaz and he's like, "It has been a pleasure as always, but I have other business to attend to."
Yes, we gotta get back anyway. Try to meet Roland after all this.
And yeah, Roland is still there with y'all.
Mm. Is he like with us in the same room? Or is he in the
he's
other
in
room?
he's in the living room. Yeah,
Okay.
But he does seem expectant to get a ride back to the blocks.
That's on you, buddy.
Well, he needs to ask first.
He's what?
He needs to ask first.
He's like, fine. I've got my own transportation. I can just follow you.
This is fine. I don't have a problem with you coming with me. By the way, can I do the reputation with him, or
Are you
or is that can I do reputation with him, or is that like a once in a game thing?
No, you can totally do it with him.
Okay, let's Okay, that one is 7, so 8, 9 total.
All right. So yeah, partial success, and just like with the professor, tell us what he has heard about you.
Let's see. I would think in his case, he probably thinks I'm an assassin.
And why has he heard this about you?
Well, because I'm like the only driver in the city, like professional driver, and the fact that the way I'm dressed and everything, just people made rumors. So when he first met me, I was working for Toby, and Toby didn't have as many henchmen, so maybe that's why he thinks that.
I see. So yeah, no one ever sees you fight, but they assume because you're driving Toby around that you've gotta be doing some things on the side for him.
It's more of the professional silent thing,
Mm-hmm. For sure. All right. So you've got Spaz carrying the briefcase. The crate of weapons will probably fit in the trunk or the back where the hatch for the grenade launcher goes. I think. Does that sound good or sound right, Spaz?
Yeah, that sounds good. Oh, Spaz, gotcha.
Yeah.
I'll take that as a yes. Yeah, and then I think there are 4 seats, 2 in the front, 2 in the mid. Where are people sitting?
I was thinking that, especially since Spaz has been working on it so much, that it's a little extended, so in the back it has 2 extra rows. And then, the big trunk, so he can sit in one of if Roland comes, he can sit in one of those back seats.
Yeah. Spaz jumps in carefully.
All right, and do we have Sir and Amelia in the mid again?
Where's Roland sitting?
He's gonna follow y'all.
Okay. I would say I'd sit in the same seat.
And I think speaking of Roland, is you notice it looks sort of like a motorcycle, but it hovers off the ground. It is some definite high-tech stuff.
Scratch that. I'm gonna go over to Roland.
Uh-huh.
Do you mind if I ride with you?
Yeah, sure. You just
I'm gonna hop on the back of it.
Yep.
And wrap my arms around him.
All right. And I guess escalate again. You are leading the pack. So what is your route home?
Well, since he told me not to bump it much as I hate to say it, instead of going off road, I'm gonna take the main road, and I'm gonna look at Sir and Spaz, and I'm gonna say, if you don't mind, seatbelts, please, and keep your hands and heads inside the vehicle at all times. Look at Spaz.
What? I'm not gonna do anything.
I think it's hilarious given that it wasn't Spaz that was hanging out of the vehicle on your way here.
Well, he does it all the time, so just have it.
Yeah.
He's just more worried about somebody coming after them and shooting at them and somebody losing their head.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So you're taking the road. I think similar to last time, we need you to keep your cool to make sure you get back in one piece.
Okay, you're gonna have fun with that one because I rolled 3, so even with my 2, that's fine.
All right. Exciting. So you do something under fire. On a miss, be prepared for the worst. So, yeah. I think what happens is that you hit, you don't get accosted by a gang, but you hit a bump really hard on the road where they just didn't do a good job patching things up. And Spaz, you hear a slight hiss from from the briefcase.
Yo.
And actually, I'll take it even a step farther. I think you hit Escalade hits the pothole so hard, Spaz, you kind of hit your head up on the roof of the seat you're in. So you take 1 harm, and you hear the hiss.
Okay, how do I take 1 harm?
So you have a harm clock on your sheet. Should be kind of bottom left. Yeah. So you go to it's to the 3 o'clock is the first kind of slice.
Gotcha.
So 3 o'clock is basically like, yeah, you've suffered a minor injury, but it's like, it'll heal on its own.
Spaz quickly goes and, oh shit!
My bad, that was a pothole. You made this thing too big. It's hard to see the road sometimes, you know?
Yeah. Does it got latches to open it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna click it open.
All right. So yeah, you click it open, and on the inside there's kind of a foam, and in the center you see some sort of it's like a clear encasing, and inside the casing you see an array of vials. And one of them is cracked.
Oh shit! Can I do a lot of drugs. I'm bound to have a vial on me.
Yes.
Can I replace it?
Can you? Yes. Can you do it in a way that will fool Toby? That is the question. Yeah, so I think you're gonna have to act under fire. Where the fire here is that Toby, you don't do a good job, and Toby notices that you've replaced one of his vials.
Okay.
This is a cool roll.
Ooh, oh fuck. All right. Yeah. This is gonna suck. This is not a negative. Eight.
Okay, 8 is a partial success. So on a 7 to 9, you flinch, hesitate, or stall. I can offer you a worse outcome, a hard bargain, or an ugly choice. Yeah, so let me think, what in this case would be the bargain or the ugly choice? Because in this case, you're not directly handing this off to Toby right now. It's more okay, yeah, I think the hard bargain is you dig through your stuff and you find the perfect vial for it, but it is the last of your favorite drugs. And so these are the drugs that you use to open your brain, but you would either have to just put the vial in here with the drugs, or you'd have to pour the drugs out. And these drugs specifically need to be contained in a vial like this.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I think on this situation, knowing the stakes at hand, I think Spaz is gonna have to make the hard choice and Pour out the drugs.
Ooh, you're just gonna pour them out.
Yeah.
I think. I think Escalade in the chat has an interesting option.
Oh.
Like you don't have to completely waste them.
Okay.
But that's up to you. Like that's.
That
like,
is true.
There is risk in opening your brain.
Okay. So.
Or you can have someone else take them.
So if I use that from what the chat has given me, so that 9 becomes a 10.
If what happens? Oh, if you use your
Advantage.
If you use one of the +1 forward, let me just double check to see if you can use that after you've rolled or before.
Okay. Yes, I also I hadn't used. If you hold, and I have holded onto the bone field too, so I could take a +1 forward then.
Bone field would be you showing up at the scene and then using your +1 forward to your next action.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. Never mind.
Sorry, I'm just trying to. It doesn't help that like forward is a very common word.
Yeah.
Maybe keep things simple. I'll go ahead and say you can use your +1 forward after the roll, and yeah, it turns out you do have a vial, and you don't have to throw out your special drugs.
Okay, I do so. Because I nervously do so, but yeah.
You kind of like a little nervously dig through your bag of stuff, and you pull out the perfect vial. It's currently empty, or at least containing nothing too precious, and you put it in the container in the briefcase and close it up.
Clean it all up, make it look like nothing. Yeah, and then don't do that again.
I told you it was an accident.
All right. So, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Spaz.
I fixed it. We're good.
Good job, buddy.
No one say anything in the car.
Spaz, are you like trying to get everybody in the car to agree not to say anything?
Yes.
And what does Escalade and Sir say to this?
I'm not saying anything. That's my ass on the line. So.
It's not my ass on the line, so you're gonna owe me one later then, I guess.
Yeah, so Escalade said nothing, and Sir says you owe him one.
Amelia in the other vehicle. Damn, they really hit that bump pretty hard. Has no clue what just happened.
Yeah, and I think Roland is like, I would have expected like such a famous driver to like know how to avoid potholes like that.
Yeah, I mean it was so obvious in the road.
Yeah. Not like I have to avoid that. And he kind of like pets his hover motorcycle. His hover cycle.
She like squeezes him and is just like holding on to him.
All right. Spaz, do you accept Escalade's silence in this matter?
No, I told him
sorry.
that was my ass on the line, so I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Yeah. Do you accept his answer?
Yeah, absolutely, from Escalade, and grudgingly, but not outright, Spaz looks over at Sir. Fine.
All right. Is our little caravan back on the road?
Yeah, it was just a momentary thing.
Yeah, a little momentary thing. Nothing bad happened.
Just a little
And
on
yeah.
the flight, it's fine.
you make your way back to the blocks. So I guess you pull up back into Spaz's garage.
I think we had enough action for one night.
Yeah. Where are people going from here?
I think.
Roland.
Start with Amelia.
Roland,
Yes.
when I hadn't seen you there for years before I left, do you still have connections with the Collector?
I mean, oh, I guess you didn't hear.
No.
He passed away a few years back. I'm kind of surprised you didn't hear.
I ran off after I turned 19, I think.
I'm sorry I had to give you this news.
Fuck no, it's fantastic. Do you know how long I've been fucking hiding? This is great. I'm like fully
glad I
like
gave you
sliding
this
off I'm sliding off the hovercraft, like pulling a handful out. I wasn't gonna give you this because I didn't know if he was still alive. Feel free to stop by sometime. And I'm just going to like pat his cheek and like walk off, swaying my hips and wrap an arm around Sir, going, let's go get fucked up. Fully has switched to party mode.
Yeah, Roland just has this like really confused look on his face.
Wait, hold on. Give me just a second. Where is it? No, I'm not gonna frenzy him. He's not a. This is not a mob. I'm not doing that right now.
I can't wait for you to use that move though. That's going to be wild.
It will be wild. I'm curious because I mentioned this in chat earlier to see if he's heard about the aviary, not knowing it was me, the little girl he saw such a long time ago.
Yeah. So he definitely when he saw you in the professor's place, like he was obviously shocked, kind of shocked to see you grown up. So I think it's like, yeah, it's probably like not just the, shock of seeing you, but like I doubt he like has really been able to keep in touch with you. Like he probably doesn't know about the aviary. But it's entirely possible like he's probably heard of the aviary.
And now he's just connecting it that the aviary is ran by that once long ago little girl.
Yeah, it is now like
who would hide behind walls and like peek around bookshelves.
Yes. I think the question though is like, does he realize that you run the aviary, or does he just think you're a part of the aviary? Because you could just be a recruiter.
She introduced herself to the professor in front of him as the leader of the aviary.
Yes, perfect. Okay.
So I think over the course of the drive and her sliding off the back, which is very suave, he's now putting two and two together.
Yes.
She has been up to quite a bit.
Yeah, so I think he got like the pieces like back in at the professor's, but it didn't quite sink in. And then like as soon as you hand the brochure to him, it's like it's all like clicking into place, and he's just like, oh.
I'm just curious what he thinks or knows about the aviary, because there's the people who know about it, the people who are a part of it, and the ones who like think we're just a bunch of freaks.
Yeah, I think the aviary is pretty infamous. But yeah, so he's probably vaguely heard of it, and yeah, he's kind of realizing that you lead the aviary. And as you saunter off with Sir, what about Spaz and Escalade? What is going on with y'all?
We need to get this package to Mr. Toby, but also need to deal with Roland too. Roland?
Yeah, yeah, you.
Yeah.
Right.
You go inside.
You know. Uh-huh.
And there's a waiting room. I've got coffee.
Okay.
Or unless you want to go get something to eat real quick and come back, because we were on a long trip. So
right.
You go get something to eat and come back, and I'll have everything set up and we can do your thing.
Yeah, you know, that's a good idea. I'll just go grab something and I'll be waiting your place. Yeah. And he kind of like wanders off in a daze. You kind of see him like looking down at the brochure.
Swear to God.
And
Yes.
I love it. So yeah, Escalade and Spaz, you make your way over to Toby's. Yeah, the henchman is still there. And he's like, oh, same day. Boss
Quick
is always
ride.
glad to make use of your services. Head right up.
I'm not a specialist for nothing.
He says, yeah. You did good work, Escalade, and he kind of pats you on the back.
Escalade, like I said, I give Spaz a look, like, okay. Well,
Yeah.
let's go see the boss.
Yep. Y'all head right in. He closes the door behind you. Make your way up the stairs and find yourselves in the boss's. Actually, I think this time the boss is downstairs in a room off to the side. That's more of like a little parlor. And you kind of see him. He's like sitting there. He's got like some sort of like drink, probably alcoholic, a book in hand, and he looks up and he's like, I see you're back so soon. You got the goods?
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, come on. Put it on this table right here.
And Spaz puts it down delicately.
All right. Yeah, and he kind of spins it over his way, and you hear the click. Opens it up. And he very delicately picks up the container, and he's like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they're all here. Excellent. All right, I owe you money. And he kind of leans over, and he opens up a little drawer. I think it's like there's like a wall with a fireplace. He's got like bookshelves on either side, but the lower part below the bookshelves are like some drawers. He opens it up, pulls out a box, or actually pulls out 2 boxes, and hands one to each of you. And he's like, I think you'll find that to be worth 1 barter each. You know, for your time, for your trouble.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah, no, thank you. This is exciting. This will be good.
I bet. Well, I don't ask what is in there because that's not my, don't really care. That's your thing. So have fun. And if you need a ride later, hit me up. Bye.
All right, y'all have a good day. And I think, so both of you got the door, the henchman's there. I think Spaz, though. Like, once the door opens and you kind of see and walk to the outside, things don't look normal for you. It's almost like you're kind of having a bad trip. Like, the colors are kind of, like, it's almost like the yellows are blue and the blues are like green, and like there's just all the colors are kind of shifted around, and there's kind of like a hazy wave to things. And you see you see it looks like a clown on a unicycle going down the street, and you kind of like blink your eyes a few times and it's gone. And you kind of shake your head. And Escalade, you kind of see, this, Spaz has kind of stopped at the door and is kind of staring off in the distance.
You alright, buddy? Slap him in the face a little. You there? Hey?
Do I hear him?
You hear Escalade? Yeah, you hear Escalade.
You might not be in the same place we started.
Okay, I'm just gonna slowly shove him in the car. I'll get you home. And I'll drop him off at his garage, and then I think I'm gonna go to Sir's club. He's gonna take the night off.
All right. Yeah. And it's been a while since you've been to Sir's club, based on what you were saying earlier. Any special reason why?
Well, I mean, after that job and that thing was going horribly wrong, he needs a drink.
I see. So are you feeling like a sense of guilt, or is it just the stress?
I say, if anything, kind of like a rush, because everything almost went horribly, but then it didn't. So, so it's the whole thing of like, oh shit, I almost got caught, but hey, it worked out in our favor.
Yeah. And Spaz, are you heading back? Are you just staying at your shop?
Yeah, Spaz would definitely be back at his shop.
And Roland is waiting there for you.
All right. Hi.
Oh, hey, you okay?
Yeah. Did you see a bunny rabbit run by with a block saying it's too late?
No, why would I see a bunny rabbit with a clock?
And that's all right. Yeah, let's just go inside.
Yeah. He kind of like pauses and looks at you for a second. All right, yeah.
And I kind of duck my head under a door that is clearly not like it's open up top, but I duck and then I'll walk in.
And for a brief second, like Roland kind of like holds his hand out, like he's gonna check to see if there's something there, and then he just walks through. So yeah, you said you could figure something out about this device, right?
Yeah.
And he pulls out the device, and I think like the red light, like it probably looks. I'm trying to think like it's like a neon, I don't know, yellow or something, or like a neon like purple, like flashing at you. Where before it was clearly red.
Got a smiley face set on it every time.
Yeah.
Wow, this must be a happy day.
Sure.
Yeah. Let me maybe you go sit down over there.
Is over there like within eye shot of you, like of your workspace?
It's kind of a beanbag futon. So
yeah, so his main thing is like he wants to see, he doesn't want to like leave it with you, or like leave it like where you can't see it.
I mean, you can sit down.
Like he trusts you to work on it, but he like doesn't want to like want it out of his eyesight.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't sit on that thing either because I mean, it looks hungry. But okay.
I'll lean against the wall here. I'll be out of your way.
Yeah. Don't stand too close to that either. And I point to like. It looks like a saw blade. but you know, the spaz is something totally different.
To you or to him?
Yeah. And yeah, I proceed to, I guess, get to work on it and try to figure out, you know, using my workspace. I don't know exactly what that entails.
Right. I mean, as a savvy head, you obviously have the workspace to work on it, but it was definitely kind of a place where I kind of wish you had ThinkSpeak. It's just a really interesting move, but you don't. So I think, I think your best options are like cool if you're examining it in a somewhat normal way, and or opening your brain if you're examining it in a less natural way.
Oh, I'm tripping hard. So yeah, we're opening our brain big time.
And I think like
we're going in.
I think from your perspective, it's like you're clearly like you're examining this. It's like you're taking it apart and everything. From Roland's perspective, it's like you're just there holding it in your hand, and you're like not even moving.
Yeah, I'm finding the fox in the Homer Simpson strip. So
right.
Okay.
Yeah. So do your thing.
I got a +3 to that. So I rolled a 9, but I have a 12 total.
Wow. Yeah. So I think again, like similarly, your vision from before, we were watching these like the silvered one and these scientists. I think this time it's like you're standing with the scientists, and this device is sitting on the pedestal, and you see where like previously the lightning was like shooting into the device, now the lightning is like shooting out of the device, and you see this like bar. It's like lit up on the side of the device, and it's just like slowly going down, and then suddenly it hits the bottom, and it's flashing neon purple.
And the whole time that's happening, I'm gonna go ahead and just describe him, what's going on.
Lightning. What does lightning have to do with this? And it's flashing red. It's not flashing neon purple.
It's all right. Don't worry about that part. No, probably electricity. We gotta plug it in.
Oh, plug it into what?
I don't know. Anything that has electricity.
Okay.
So
well,
he grabs a battery and thumps it down. And grabs connectors and.
So yeah, you notice on the side of it. It looks like a pretty large industrial kind of connector on it. It's not like a small plug. And you pull out some like, I guess like jumper cable type things.
Yeah.
Put on the battery, kind of figure out how to hook it up into the socket on this device. And there's like big spark, and like and the red light is still flashing, and you realize your battery is basically dead.
Wow. Okay. So we need something bigger.
Bigger like what? Like what?
Like generator bigger. Like something, not little battery shit.
Okay. And where would you get something like that?
Would I know?
Would you know? So, I definitely like. I think on the battery, like one thing you see pop up is like very briefly when you plug the battery in, you see a little like charging, and you see like time to charge, and it's like 99999, you know, like it's like, or like 59, you know, 59 99999, like up to the max of whatever it can display. And I think you realize like the amount of energy it would take to charge this battery, it would like exceeds the output of anything available in the blocks.
Oh, so this place could like did you hear that? No, wow, this is amazing.
Of course it is. It's Silvered One's tech.
So this could drain a lot of power.
Okay, can you charge it?
Not with the current electricity I have. I could build something though.
Oh, okay. How long would that take?
Few days, I think. But I mean, it also depends on, you know, storms and stuff like that too. So.
Oh, well,
Unless,
I mean,
unless
storms aren't
you know,
exactly reliable.
what?
I know what.
Unless if you know where I can get a suitable power source to charge this thing.
I mean, if I knew where to get a suitable power source where to charge this, do you think I'd be coming to you?
Who knows? Lots of people come to me for lots of things.
Fair. Yeah. I mean, if you could, you know, charge it in a few days, then yeah, things will be fine.
Okay.
All right.
You gonna leave it here?
Yeah.
Need to figure out how to. I mean, I could wing it, but you know, we could all electrocute ourselves together. And then what will that happen? You know, thing will be here, we'd be dead.
Yeah, so I think like the situation you find yourself in is like, Roland is like, this is, you know, Silvered One's tech. If I left it with you, I could get in a lot of trouble. Just being here with it, you know, showing, you know, one of the lowly people in the blocks, it, you know, could get him in trouble. But he also really wants it to get charged, so it's like, how do I know you're going to keep your word? I don't know. You're just not going to like sell it off to your professor friend.
No. So could I use my sharp to read him?
Absolutely.
And by reading him, yeah. Okay, I rolled a total of 9.
Total of 9. So yeah, on a 7 to 9, you can ask one from the list of questions.
What would be the best answer to give him?
What would,
I don't know.
Well, they're a set. If you, oh, sorry.
Yeah, I don't have that in front of me right now. Sorry.
Oh. Yeah, I'll post it in the chat. It's one of those.
Okay. Ooh, I guess, how could I get your character to let me hold on to the item without trouble, I guess?
Yeah, for sure. Like, he doesn't know you particularly well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he wants, like, he knows there's really no equivalent trade in the sense of like trading Silvered One's high-tech stuff for like something you'd have, but he wants like an equivalent trade in the sense of like, as much as this is worth to him, something that's equivalently worth to you that he can hold on to, and then once you figure this out, he'll give it back to you.
Well, all boils down to that, huh?
And what is that?
Listen. I don't trust people much. Especially what I'm about to reluctantly hand over. But I feel that we come to a mutual understanding if I did so. And Spaz reaches into that special pouch, that special thing, and pulls out that special vial.
Oh, your special drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think his like first instinct is like he's kind of insulted. He's just like, what is like a vial of drugs? Like, why is that important? And then I think he kind of like, given his experience with you today, kind of puts two and two together and like realizes like, oh, this actually is pretty important to you. And it's maybe not something you can easily replace.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like, all right. When should I come back and see you again? When are you gonna be done?
Do I know roughly?
I mean, I think at this point you do not know, like, you don't actually know how to charge this thing like in an obvious way.
Mm-hmm. Well,
you might have some ideas, but it's like there's like no guarantee. It's more like things to research and yeah.
Spaz's brain is the Frankenstein idea, so it's alive. So come back in a few days. Okay. So here's the thing. I should have it built fairly quickly. Problem is, we gotta wait for a thunderstorm. So after, I mean, you can come watch. It'd be electrifying. But during the electrostorm, I should have your answer.
Huh.
Well, after the electric storm, technically. After the electric storm, I should have your answer totally. So.
How about I come back in a few days and I will check in on your work?
That works too. Look for the yeah, you know where I'm at.
And he like takes this like, he has this like big sigh of like, I am making a terrible mistake. And then kind of goes, all right, a couple of days. See you then.
Bye now. And Spaz
he puts the file in his coat, walks out the door. All right.
Yeah.
And then we have Sir Amelia and Escalade at the club partying. So I actually have a question. In the vehicle, who was closest to Spaz?
That would have been probably Sir, because, well, where I've got the pop-up grenade launcher at, it says passenger operated. So, oh well, that could be anywhere. So pretty much, it's up to Escalade where he wants the thing at.
I mean, I think we established the launcher is in the rear.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, so that's where it'd be at. So Sir
you probably would have been closer to Sir. Yeah.
Okay. All right, and what's going on in the club tonight?
Usual shenanigans, probably.
So I think y'all are having like, it's like a bigger clientele tonight. Things are the music's really going. Things are like really, I wouldn't say rowdy, but like, things are really popping off tonight. Sir, when you are working, do you partake of the clientele?
Oh yeah.
And is everything out in the open, or are there private rooms?
There's some private rooms. Some people just do it out in the open. It's free to do what you will.
And what is King's preference?
I'd say he probably tends to be more in the private rooms, but every once in a while, he likes to be out in the open.
So I think you and King are in one of the private rooms, having an intimate moment with each other, and I think kind of like maybe like mid conversation, the colors you see kind of go weird, and the walls are almost melting.
Is the room melting? Is it like that hot in here? Like, I mean, I know it's hot in here because you're here, but like, is it? Do you see that? Also, like, what? Changing colors. Are you okay? Are you sick?
And King is kind of like confused at first, and he like holds a hand here to you, and he's like, I mean, you're always hot, but you do feel a bit warm tonight. You okay?
I don't know. This is very, very new. Do I think it has something to do with that vial that I saw Spaz with?
I mean, do you?
I don't, because he probably didn't see Spaz acting weird, so he might not. He might think there could be a correlation, but he's not sure.
I mean, so you do know something happened with the vial, but I mean, other than Spaz, like, asking you not to tell anyone, that's like, you have no idea what it was, or like what happened, or you just said like something broke and he was like trying to fix it so nobody would find out.
I thought crossed his mind. He's like, oh, did I take any weird drugs recently from anyone? But he's not quite sure. He's like, it could be a factor, but since he doesn't know what it was, and I don't think he doesn't, Spaz isn't here, so he can't see if he's also feeling the same. He's not sure. So he's like, I don't know. I don't know. Look, now the door's melting.
You sure you're gonna be okay? You need to lie down, or can I get some water for you?
Yeah. Maybe some water, maybe some bread. Ask Brewster or whoever's at the bar right now if we have any bread. That might help.
All right, I'll be right back. Yeah, he walks out the door, and he kind of leaves the door ajar, or kind of open. And you're looking out the hallway. I'm trying to like think like you something like appropriately unsettling. You see a snake, like a very large snake, kind of like slither by the door. I'm talking like if the front half of the snake is kind of like up, like kind of like cobra, it's like human sized. And you see like the end of its tail kind of slither past.
I'm gonna walk to the door and kind of like lean out, and then almost kind of fall, but like catch myself on the like, what's that? What is that?
Yeah, and you kind of like, you kind of fall over and you're kind of laying on the floor looking out into the main area of the club, and like everybody just hears this thud, and kind of like you see everybody kind of like look over at you.
So do I just see them fall?
Yes.
Is there any chance I could catch them before they fall?
It's unlikely, but it's like possible. If you're like walking in the hallway, like you just happen to be walking by.
I would say I try to and just watch them land at my feet. Sir? Sir?
Yes, my love? Yeah.
No, hi, honey. It's
Hi.
you.
Did you know your right arm is kind of like melting a little?
I'm gonna like brush off whatever
Are you
substances I think is like on my arm. And then I'm just gonna like kneel down. What did you take?
Yeah, I don't really remember taking anything today, you know, other than like a couple shots at the bar like last night. But I don't know.
Let's get you to your private room, and I'm gonna like scoop them up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm presuming I know where your private room is.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to just kind of half drag them in there.
Did you
And so-
see a snake? Are there snakes in here? Is there like big snakes, do you know?
I'm looking
like, really
around.
big, like, you know, people size?
No.
Do you think they would be fun in the bedroom, or do you think they'd be scared?
You know, we can have this conversation later. You want a nap? You want some juice?
King went to get me some water. And bread. I still kind of want, though.
Got it. And I'm just gonna kind of like sit there and like put Sir's head in my lap and just very concerned, but also not wanting to like get into it.
So yeah, I think like Sir's private quarters like look down that hallway into the open area of the club, and I think like the closing shot is going to be from Sir's vision of these like weird scintillating colors and the like kind of meltingness of everything they see, as a snake kind of turns a corner holding a bottle of water and a thing of bread. And I think we'll close there. All right, so as what you've seen during our episode, something weird is going on with Spaz and Sir, potentially having to deal with that package that was taken back to Toby, of which a certain bump in the road broke one of the vials. And we've also saw that Spaz is working on a project for Roland to charge a battery that can hold more power than the entire output of the blocks. But why would somebody who has access to Silvered One's tech want that? It's curious. But I think we'll find out in our next episode, coming, I believe, next Sunday, same time. And we can find out both what crazy shenanigans our players will get up to and what is going on between all of these things. So see you then.